The bears completely hijacked the market today using yesterday's high as a massive pivot point here for the ES. It drove clean ABCD expansion moves all the way down. So let's map out exactly how this market structure shifted on the charts. So as you can see, using yesterday's high right here, using it, the market just started making ABCD moves late yesterday and today. So when the market opened here today, it reached the target down there, and then from there it was just using the ABCD move. This one went up there all the way to 76%. Actually took that trade right there, nice little trade, down to it right over here. Then I had a lot of other small little trades for the one candle trades that I'll talk about those here in a little bit. They're not market structure trades, they're more scalping trades, but right now we're focused on market structure. So then it hit the target right down there, went over here, there's the low right there, right up to 38%. This is another valid trade. I don't get in that early for the retracement trade. The earliest I get in is the 585, but this worked out perfectly right there. Went down, you can see, hit the target right off of there, and then close to the end of the day, listen, no, I want to have all these right there. Get this back up here. Price came up right into just for the 38% line, and then right down here at the end of the day, actually the market was pretty much closed. Just before 4 p.m. at 3:15 went down and hit it, and then continued to go lower. So the bears finally, for the first time in a long time, especially for the ES market, well, both the ES and NQ, but ES especially, took over today. The bulls didn't stand a chance. They didn't even pierce yesterday's highs. Pretty much the whole day, starting from right here when it opened, all it was straight down here with the ABCD move. You can see at the extension level, the daily low of the day, it did get a little support there at, what time was that? 8:45. So after the market opened, it sold off right away, got a little support, came back up, but that was just a retracement move back up to the ABCD move, and then went here and went down. So if we zoom out here on the charts real quick, let me show you what it looks like over here. So we finally got this trend line that we've been following here for a while broken. There we go. There's the first trend line break of it. So what you can do is you go down all the way down here over this one, and we're going to see if this Fibonacci retracement level is going to, this bigger move right here is going to hold. You see it got a little bounce off the 23.6, but since it's a failed bounce right there, it tells us that the bulls, the extreme front running of the bulls taking up to new highs is done right here. So we are looking for a deeper retracement down over here. So unless some crazy news comes out, I expect a deeper retracement down into 585, maybe all the way down to 76.4. And then obviously if it goes down and breaks the low down there, then the bears are in complete control, and that whole run up there is over. So the bears had their first day here in a long time here in the ES market. The bulls, the front running that had been going on over here is done. So we'll see how much lower this is going to go going into tomorrow. So right now the bears are in control. And this arrow right here signals an EMA crossover. So that is another short signal that how you trade that is you just take the last semaphore right there, you look for the lowest pivot point, there it is, it's right up there, it came down and hit it. So I only look for deeper retracements, but that just is another way to trade that right there, and to signal that the market is shifting, trending downward, because the last 1, 2, 3, kind of 4 days right here, it was just in a ranging market. Even though it's still in the uptrend, it was ranging here, and now the bears have taken control out of it right there. So that is the ES for today. Going into tomorrow, I'm just looking for, I do expect some sort of little bounce over here, but this kind of right here, well, let me put this back on, or was it? It's kind of in no man's land right here for this. It's in between the 38 and the 23.6. So when the market opens back up, you see which either way it's going to go. I expect to go down at least to 38% sometime here down tomorrow, and then we'll see what's going to happen. The bulls regain control, then we will look for a move up. Obviously, if not, then look for a deeper retracement. There's the 447, but probably all the way down to the 585 level over here. So it's at 74.70, which would put tomorrow at a decent size loss. Not decent, but a percentage going down to that level for it. So we'll just have to wait and see how deep they're going to go, when the bulls, if the bulls are going to show up, or if the bears are going to remain in this just ABCD channeling move down right here. Going over here to the NASDAQ over here, same thing, but the NASDAQ today wasn't as bearish as the bulls, but the bears did win again today. But as you can see, starting out is a little bit different, because if you try to use the high from yesterday, it didn't hold up. The bulls actually took control for a little bit here in the NASDAQ, because here's the opening right here. So starting off, we're getting lower, 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 but eventually here in the overnight session, it pierced it to signal that we're going over long again. But then taking the low of the day, previous low of the day right there, we broke it right when after the market was that open, yeah, 8:45, when we had that sell-off right there. And then so that means the bears were in control for it. So there were some using like yesterday's ABCD moves. There was this small one right when the market opened right there, all the way to 76, and then all the way down here, and then going all the way down, dragging it back down over here. We see another good 76% trade right here. So here's a 5 at 5. That's why I get in first on these entries right there, because the 38% did not go down and hit the 23.6. So right, 78, and then we take it down for 4.7. So that would have been a nice trade if I'd seen that taken that. Unfortunately, I did not see and take that right there. And then it went up, made it high. So then we had the ABCDs going here the other way. Let's see where the first pullback was. Here's the first pullback right there. There would have hit right there. So we'll go and redraw it right there, 23.6. So the bears are firmly in control. Hit that target, and as you can see, the bears, it looks like the bears were going on to just take control again of the day. See, right down to 23.6 again. Didn't quite hit the target, but just reloaded at the 23.6 level. Hit the target right up there, but right when the market opened, that was it right there. Because you go down and take that one right there. The market sold off really nicely. It came down here. This would have been a real nice trade. Unfortunately, I missed it. Hit the 585 and then went up and hit the 447 to signal that one was done right over there. And then after that, the bears took over, took control. I don't know if there wasn't an ABCD move out of this one. You can see we did get the retracement up to the 76, but it hasn't followed through and hit this target down here. So it falls through and it hits the 1.146 down here. What is that, about at 30,450-ish right over there? That would set up, that would complete that ABCD move. Then we would move this lower down here and wait for the next pullback going up there. And then you see the price today, it hit the extension level zone, and obviously that was also the movement that, some of the movement that pushed it on down there as well. And so, yeah, that is the NASDAQ. Let me show you what the trend lines look as well for it. Zoom out a little bit here. Going down back over here to that one, and that up to about right there. We see it just broke out of it, not as bearish as what the ES is looking at with its move right there, but still broke the trend line for the first time in a long time right there. So the bears are showing some signs of life to it. So we'll see going into tomorrow when the market opens here in about 10 minutes or so for this target at 30,450 to go get hit, which would, oh, I'm sorry, right there. Yeah, 30,000, about 450-ish to get hit, which would set us up for another, looking for an ABCD move down right there. So that's how the market structure mapped out today. It's all about staying patient, identifying the macro pivots, how the markets are moving, and just watching the ABCD patterns print themselves without forcing trades. If you want to learn this mechanical process and build your chart reading discipline, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Drop a comment with your thoughts in today's session, and I'll see you on the next pullback.